And boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com, IFBB Pro, alongside Matt Stevens is here again. Man, he dialed in because we have something important to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. What's going on, guys? Happy New Year.
How you been, brother? How's everything going in Gainesville over there?
Dude, it's going really well. Really well. Sitting around 245. My goal is to be back up to like 250 by next week.
So not 285 like Ronnie Coleman?
No, that's
got a broken fucking back and you can't get up to 285? Like, what is wrong with you? You're such a pussy.
I know, man. Damn.
Geez. So anyway, we do have chat on. If you guys want to chat with us, we will answer questions after this video. We got a good half hour to dedicate to this. Then I go coach my kids. But anyway, guys, I have this article, Matt, and we talked about this when you were here. Yeah. And it's from barbend.com. That's barbend.com. Got to give credit to the ones who did the story. We're not just going to plagiarize stuff because, well, honestly, it's just not a good look. Because they'd be like, hey, man, I read this shit on Barbend. If we didn't know you could have read it, we would have lied. We'd have been like, yep, we found this out ourselves. We interviewed Ronnie. we would have done the plagiarism grift. Exclusive. Ronnie Coleman on recent weight gain, current strength, and health progress. The 8-time Mr. Olympia tells Barbend that he's feeling better and can bench 70-pound dumbbells for 20 reps. So Coleman has endured over a dozen surgeries to his neck and back, and as a result, dude can't walk. He walks with crutches. Through it all, and if you've been with Ronnie, like, dude's always positive, always laughing, always smiling. And so on a recent episode of his show, Ain't Nothing But a Peanut, he says he's beginning to feel like his old
podcast.
Self. What's up?
Ain't Nothing But a Podcast.
Oh, no, it says Ain't Nothing But a Peanut.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my mistake. Because I read it earlier. That's what I thought that's what it said. Anyway, yeah, my mistake.
I accidentally had some music coming on my phone because it was the video here. So it's called whatever it's called, but nonetheless, sporting a Ronnie Coleman shirt, the Texas native in his home says that he's back up to 285 pounds. And then he said, and I quote, I weighed myself 5 times on the scale downstairs. I thought maybe it's because I'm downstairs. I was freaking out, so I went upstairs, and that scale was the same. I was like, wow. So
accurate.
And he says his leg size is coming up, and they atrophied a lot. He's getting his size back. What is it? It said something about how much weight he was. He's not moving the kind of weight he used to, obviously, like 800-pound squats and everything, or 2,300-pound leg press. But he's throwing more 45s on the leg press machine than during his recovery. He's back up to doing 5 plates on each side of the leg press. But the thing is, he's getting stronger. He has stem cell, and he expects to be walking again in the next 1 to 2 years, according to the specialists. Yeah, so 2 years before he gets full mobility. Can you imagine if Ronnie started walking again?
Dude, that would be amazing for him. I'd be so happy for him if he was able to walk again. Because I just remember thinking to myself, like, after he had retired and whatnot, and not seeing very much of him, or at least me personally not seeing very much of him, and then seeing videos of him in a wheelchair and on crutches, and just how it looked like how much it just looked to me, it looked like he aged a lot. And so it was just not a good state of health for him. And so I'd be thrilled for him if he was able to walk again and have no issues.
So obviously lifting the weights he did and taking it to the level he took it was a huge contributing, if not the factor, in him getting to the point where he couldn't walk again, where he's literally confined to crutches and wheelchairs and, a state of constantly ingesting pain pills to be able to work around this. However, do you think that his weight training and load bearing is actually going to help him recover from what he created through weight training? Do you think it can?
Yeah. I mean, of course, not going up nearly to the amount of intensity that he used to. Cause that's kind of what got him into the issues that he's experiencing now, but the movements, the functional movement, the mobility, and then just to maintain or even maybe build a little bit more muscle, because he looked like he atrophied a lot. And so as long as he builds up just that healthy amount of muscle, then yeah. But man, 285 in right now.
He says again, I quoted him even with his voice. That was actually a tape of Ronnie saying it. I snuck into his bathroom and I put a little recorder, and that was Ronnie Coleman. So yeah, 285, and I think Ronnie's like 5'10, 5'11. Man, he's 57 years old, and I'm not even worried about the body, but like that's a lot of weight on his heart and his joints. And can't he like get stronger and get like without getting huge? Like, I mean, 285 is ridiculously large. Like you and I are large. I'm 222. You're 245. We're at obviously different levels of off season, and I'm not that much shorter. I'm like 3-4 inches shorter than Ronnie. You're like 1 or 2 inches. Put in perspective, Matt's a beast. Like he's a big fucking dude. What are you, 5'9", 5'10"? 5'10"?
5'10".
He 5'10", 245 is a large guy. Like Matt's legs are like this fucking big. They're big. So you put it in perspective, Ronnie Coleman is 40 pounds heavier than you at just about 1 inch taller, if that.
Yeah, and to be going like to be walking around in crutches like that. I mean, to me, it's just I don't know the weight, and who knows. I mean, would he have any reason to exaggerate that?
Well, Ronnie, I used to think Ronnie exaggerates stuff, but then I was with him and we spent time together, and he's really that insane. Like the guy, like his one like regret from bodybuilding is actually not getting more reps when he got his 800-pound deadlift before the Olympia for 3 reps. He's I could have got 5 or 6 of those, but I quit at 3. I really regret that. You can't walk, and that's your one regret. So, and I'm friends with Ronnie, and hopefully he takes my voice of him. Everybody does a Ronnie voice as a joke, and just as being fun and jovial. And here's where I'm going to go with this. Like, we've gone over kind of like the sensible shit, right? The book stuff. Like that's a lot of weight for your heart.
Yeah.
That's this, that's that. But Ronnie's 57. He's the greatest of all time. He literally lifted himself into a wheelchair and onto crutches, broke his back multiple times. I believe he injured his back originally in 2001, trained through it, won 8 Mr. Olympia titles.
Jesus.
I don't think Ronnie can live without this. I think the healthiest thing for Ronnie mentally and physically is to train heavy and just live his life the way he lives his life. Ronnie knows no better. Ronnie is a guy who just loves lifting. As someone who's lifted with Ronnie on multiple occasions, from when he was throwing up 70-pound dumbbells for lateral raises to when he was in a wheelchair, I've lifted with him through those 2 times. Ronnie loves training. You take training away from Ronnie, that's like taking air away from another human being. That's like taking water away from another human being. You cannot. Ronnie loves training so much. He broke a titanium rod in his back to train. Ronnie loves training. And, you know, sometimes we've been talking about freedom of choice a lot. Sometimes you just have to look at it and say, for Ronnie, from a mental health standpoint, and so he doesn't OD on painkillers. Dude, training, in my opinion, and this might make a lot of people upset, it's what's keeping him alive.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And the thing is here, you know, not all of us are going to live long, healthy lives, especially when we go to the extremes of becoming Mr. Olympia and things like that. And so how much life can you fit into the amount of years that you are here is what really matters. And so I would hate for Ronnie to go out like that, you know, with the pain pills and things like that. If it's just going to help him mentally, then I'm all for it, you know, because here's the thing. What do we know? Like how bad could it be? And if we go down one route versus another, you know? And so it can be an overall good thing. Now, I'd like to see his weight come down if it really is 285.
That's the one thing that scares me. Like, I'd want to see him at as 245 and jacked. You know, like, and of course, he's already naturally tanned. So he has the jacked and the tanned already in there.
Yes.
Just needs to get less big.
Yeah. And then also being able to walk again. I mean, like, that would be awesome. if we could get him to that. But I mean, here's the thing: is he's not going insanely heavy right now, and he doesn't need to, of course. But I think him getting back up to like respectable numbers is really going to help him out. And when we talk about respectable numbers, what are we talking about? Because that's pretty subjective.
Yeah.
What would you say some respectable numbers?
I think 5 plates per side on leg press is damn respect. I think he's already there.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 plates is a lot of weight. Like that's, I mean, yeah, okay. I went to the gym. I did 10 plates and a band today, but I'm in the peak. I'm peaking at 41. I don't know when my peak's going to end, but I'm peaking. Ronnie's already done what I will never, ever have the genetics or the time to do. Like Ronnie is the greatest bodybuilder of all time. I'll tell you what, my wife gets mad when we had this discussion the other day with our wife, with our girls, our wives, whatever we want to call them, right?
Yeah.
Bitches. Sorry. Okay. That was a joke, guys. That was a joke. I would trade places with, I'd give up walking at 52 to be the greatest of all time. I would.
Yeah.
I absolutely would. And I would take 10 years off my life to win an Olympic gold medal, probably 20. And that's just a mindset that my wife doesn't fucking understand. I mean, Matt and I were like, yeah, 10 years, no problem. We didn't even think. But it doesn't even matter what it's in. Like I get an Olympic gold medal in figure skating or bobsled or fucking curling. You give me an Olympic gold medal, I'm taking years off my life. And Ronnie will always, his legacy, like you're on earth once. He lived for 45 years as he's literally called the king.
Yeah.
45 years as a king versus 90 years as average. I'm going to go with 45 as a king. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
It's just my mindset, and normal average people won't understand. They just will never understand. But Ronnie is the greatest of all time. Put that in perspective.
Here's also another perspective to take a look at too, is everyone is so afraid of dying that they're afraid of living.
Hold on.
Ronnie. Yeah, exactly. And Ronnie was not afraid of dying. He sacrificed everything to become the best and became the best. And so I mean, there's a lesson that I think we all can learn from there is, what is it to slide, to get towards the end of your life and just be completely safe, go into a casket, have nobody know who you are, not impacting any lives. Like, hello, look at how many lives Ronnie has impacted, how many people he's inspired. And so like, you have to really weigh that out, is what impact did you make while you were here? And
do you remember Patrick Tillman, the guy who
play safe?
The guy who left the NFL to go serve as an Army Ranger over in Afghanistan?
Absolutely.
Lost his life?
Yes.
How is that different from what Ronnie did? They both impacted lives. They both became heroes and role models. And there's obviously Ronnie's not a war hero, but is he? Think about how many people Ronnie inspired to go train, to go maybe eat a little bit better, eat a little bit less junk food. Maybe they got a little more intense in the gym. They enjoyed it more and they trained harder. And, who knows, like everybody out there making a positive difference, whether you're a coach, you're a teacher, or you're just a guy who does good deeds, you're a hero in my book. And Ronnie Coleman in his own right is a hero.
Exactly.
In my opinion, I know that Tillman thinks he's a superhero. Like that guy is you can't compare anyone to him. I know that was hyperbole, but dude, seriously, Ronnie Coleman. My final say, and obviously you'll have yours, and we'll get to questions. Is like Ronnie Coleman is doing Ronnie Coleman, and that's all he knows how to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I mean, good for him, man. I'm happy for him because, like, you got to think how many of these years he's been, struggling, recovering from all these surgeries and everything, and now he's getting things going again. Think about how excited that's got to make him feel,
Oh,
and
God.
So I'm all for it, man. Especially if he's going to be, if he's recovering, his goal is to walk again one day. Like, dude, more power to him. I'm all for it.
God bless Ronnie Coleman. So,
God bless
Cristobal Coleman coming back for the title. I don't know about that. So we'll go to Thomas Maggio. Looks bad. Retired guys like Jay Dorian look way better. He looks like shit. He looks like a man who hurt his hip. I mean, his face looks fine. I mean, Jay is remarkably amazing. Like he looks fucking good. Like Jay's
Yeah.
got good skin, still got a 6-pack, still got respectable size. Jay's a cyborg. Like I literally saw that guy like literally put like 2 ounces of meat in his diet and gain 5 pounds of muscle.
Well, here's the thing too is, and I've always heard that, you know, Jay and Ronnie trained very differently from each other, but even if Jay did more of high repetition type stuff, he was still strong as shit. The dude could still squat a shit ton.
Yeah, and he also tore his bicep after his career ended. So injuries happen. They just do. But Jay trained high reps, but like it's all relative. I remember when I was getting ready for my show, I got 150-pound dumbbells for like 13 reps. We're like, don't go so heavy, you're gonna hurt yourself. I'm like, I got 13 reps. Like just because you can only get 50s for 13 reps, it's relative. Like Jay's light is our heavy.
Yeah.
Like Jay's a beast, from general stem cell therapy got to be the most powerful stuff. I've heard good and I've heard not so good. I mean, it depends who you talk to. I've heard people who've got it and nothing happened.
Really?
Yeah. I know people who spent some money. Maybe it's because they were in Mexico. I don't know. Go to one in the US from Andrew Scratt. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go.
I'm just going to leave it there. Way unhealthy, 285. I agree. Maybe but is it more healthy to be 230 and on painkillers?
Exactly.
It's his genetics. Ronnie does have great muscle building genetics. And honestly, like, I don't want to bring up statistics like this because it counts like murders and shit like that. But isn't the average black man live to about 62 years old?
I'm not sure.
I think it's 62 or 63. Heart disease, diabetes, all plaguing the black community. Horrible. And of course, you have really bad things like the penal system and people being killed. A lot of things really plague the black community. Ronnie's only 5 years off of the average age of death of his heritage. So that's really good as well.
And who knows, Ronnie might surprise us and live until the 70s,
I mean, yeah, he
that
might.
would be heck, who knows? He's Superman, so.
It's painful to watch Ronnie these days. Just watch the Netflix documentary. That documentary was almost tear-jerking, My buddy Big J was in there. It was a great documentary if you haven't watched it yet. Have you watched that one, Matt?
I don't think I have. I'm gonna definitely put that on the
Netflix
to-do list.
Netflix, Generation Iron.
Okay.
It's like Mike Tyson. That's all these guys know. When you take that away from them, they might as well be dead. Dude, seriously. Absolutely, Ace. Absolutely.
Yeah, because here's the thing that is, it's like it's tough to like segue into like a different passion. Like that's always been your passion. It's all you've known, and it's probably not going to be the same amount of passion as you had for that one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still see Jay's still involved in bodybuilding. A lot of these guys are all still involved in bodybuilding. Milos Sarkev, he's coaching now. That's one thing
James.
that's one thing that they're passionate about and they're staying in it. They still have purpose. I mean,
my coach Jose Raymond,
Yeah, Jose. Yeah, all of them.
He loves it. Jose is like a muscle aficionado. He loves muscle. He loves the sport.
That's the thing is, men as men, we need purpose. Like when you see these like average guys retire and then they sit on their ass and watch TV, they don't. If you'll notice, it's not too much later after that they die because they don't have a purpose. They're not working towards anything anymore, and they just kind of waste away. But that's what keeps us young is having purpose and having a reason to get up in the morning and to, have an impact on the world around us.
We need goals. We need something to do all day. We need to accomplish something. Sitting around watching Netflix just isn't for you if you're a successful, driven person. Just not.
Right.
I came for Ronnie memes. This is depressing. Ronnie should take a step back into men's physique. I love YouTube.
Oh gosh.
If he walks, he's gonna squat again. Yeah.
I see it.
Let's see. Ronnie can barely walk. Why is he putting himself through this? I think we addressed that.
Yeah, we did.
Pretty damn thoroughly. Holy shit, we're getting a lot of questions. I have to cut through these. Cali Muscle is getting huge again. So Cali isn't the greatest of all time. In fact, he's not even a pro, but he's on YouTube and he has 1,400 cars and he has a Rolex. So that makes him
Yeah.
You know what?
And he had a heart attack not too long ago.
Yeah, God bless Cat. Look, dude, if that he has a kid, I'll tell you what, Matt. If I had a heart attack tomorrow, I'd be 180 within the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Because you obviously have shown your heart can't handle all that fucking weight.
Exactly.
And it's just it also shows that the guys you look up to for information on being healthy, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about most of the time. So I think the Bible says it best. We shouldn't worship false idols.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and what was Callie? I mean, like, I don't know very much about the guy. I mean, was he on top of his cardio? And I'm from my understanding, his diet was shit.
Oh, it was the worst. Shit. It was bad. I mean, he had mukbang videos eating fucking church's chicken and shit. Like, it was bad. God. Like, one of each items from McDonald's. And, and then he said that it was the protein powder that's bad for him. I'm like, bro, you're fucking high. That's when,
dude,
Alex was my boy. And then he started doing those, who I'm talking about, those videos. Doesn't want to mention me because he didn't want to draft, but people knew. And I'm like, okay, if you want to like debate me, let's do it. I'll be in California next week. We could debate. It'll be funny as shit. But I mean, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I also, part of me doesn't want the risk of somebody trying to pull some YouTube drama and like start a viral fight. And I just know that's a possibility when you get somebody who's so passionate about their beliefs, whether they're right or wrong. And I love the fact that he's convicted in his beliefs. And I love the fact that he believes what he says, it appears. But we disagree. And, these shock value internet guys who do these videos of going and getting kicked out of McDonald's for whatever, and they title their video "Muscle Guy Buys Car." You're in for some weird shit if you show up. And that was cool. We've done collaborations before, but I have a strange feeling that if we collaborated now, there'd be some publicity stunt, and it would make me look really bad, even worse than I make myself look.
Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah, I think that you and Katie would be like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, not a good grift.
So it's not at all. I had my T levels checked and they were scary low. Get that shit fixed.
Yeah.
Ronnie was my inspiration to become law enforcement. Awesome. So let's go. Here's a comment here. I take 45 years as the king in any lifetime. He's still doing what he loves, and that's all that matters. Pat Tillman is the man as well. Many of us live by an average man's script. They didn't. Fuck yeah.
Exactly.
Ronnie said in one of his videos, because I love it, one of the nicest pros I've ever been blessed to meet. Same. I've sat in Ronnie's house. I've eaten food with Ronnie. I've trained with Ronnie. Done events with Ronnie, multiple events. I've done over 5 events with Ronnie, many events. And, let me tell you this, there's no man I'd rather be at IHOP with. He always gets the same thing, and he gets this big coffee, and he always adds extra whipped cream. And Matt knows about whipped cream, and Ronnie and I have that in common. We love our whipped cream.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if we got anything else. Oh, here it is. Dorian is looking healthy these days. Dorian went from being a bodybuilder to just being like yoga and meditation and bicycling. Like, Dorian's done a good job.
Dude, I love Dorian, man.
He's the man.
I mean, he is. He's cool. Like, and just how open he is about everything, and this the life that he's lived, and how much he's accomplished, and everything like that. And I like Dorian. He's one of my favorites.
This is my buddy Christian Duke, man. He's my boy. So I like Dorian's physique, but his position on the Holocaust is unforgivable. It's funny because that was like a year after I toured with Dorian in Australia. And I remember I first heard about it because Lane Norton did a video saying basically fuck Dorian. And so people came to me because I'm obviously, I got the whole Jew grift going on. And people are like, whoa, why don't you speak out against Dorian? I'm like, because Dorian's my friend. Like, look, man, I don't know what his reasons are for not believing the Holocaust exists, but like, it's his opinion. And he spoke it. And we met up 3 or 4 times after that at Body Power in the UK and a couple other events. And I was never like, Dorian came up to me. He's like, hey, how you been, mate? And it's like,
yeah, I
mean, I don't care. At the end of the day, did I lose a lot of my family in the Holocaust? Yeah. At the end of the day, dude, it's his 20. I mean, at the time it was 2016. Like, That's when we saw each other at Body Power 2015. And I'm like, dude, the Holocaust is a long time ago. I'm not going to have an argument with Dorian over the fucking Holocaust. I'm just not.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I'm too forgiving and I don't, whatever, but he's my friend.
I don't see the point in it either. Here's the thing is like, when it comes to views like that, at the end of the day, is Dorian going to treat you any different? No, he's always treated you with respect. And just because he sees it that way, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's a terrible person. I mean, everybody wants to act like, this is such a bad thing. Maybe he's been misled. I tend to forgive those types of things. If you're misled, and as long as you still treat me with respect and you're still a good person overall, man, it just doesn't make that big of a difference to me.
Yeah, I mean, our relationship doesn't change. And maybe it was like, how many tweets have you posted that you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I believe some stupid shit. Like, so I'm just like, I understand where you would get angry at that. And I understand where that was a bit much for a lot of people. But, I have history with Dorian. Like, I'm not going to let that get in the way of it. It's like people are literally ruining their lives, ruining their families over vaxxed versus unvaxxed. And that's not me. And I don't ever want that to be me. And I don't ever want to have a situation or a stance or a position on something get in the way of a legit and an actual, meaningful friendship. And Dorian, for me, it's not just friendship, but I became friends with a guy who I admired, so that for me is beyond description. That Dorian took me in as a friend and traveled around Australia with me in 2010. I'm a nobody. I'm just a business owner. And he treated me like I was, Mr. Olympia, so that digs a little bit deeper than something that happened to my family back in the 40s, and it was a shitty time. I'm glad I wasn't there, but I mean, the Holocaust must have been really uncomfortable, but it is what it is. And, I hope people, when I say stupid things, and it's going to happen and it has happened, and I say things that you might not agree with, kind of give me the benefit of the doubt that I gave Dorian. My opinion. And that's just me. And this is before I really became forgiving, God-loving Marc. This is when I was just businessman, trying to be a family man Marc, who was failing at everything in life. Like, and also 2015 was just a shit. 2015, 2016, professionally was a great year. Personally, it was a horrible, horrible time for me. That's when my wife and I were having problems and stuff. So, being friends with Dorian was actually a bright spot in my life. And even now I know forgiveness, and forgiveness is more rewarding and valuable. I had a guy message me the other day. I think I told you his name's Cassidy Campbell, and him and this guy, Bruno, literally ruined my life for about didn't ruin my life, just made it where I had to delete a lot of comments and, just attacked me on Instagram, on YouTube, and spread these rumors. And Cassidy has found God, and he reached out. He said, "Hey man,
good for him.
I'm sorry about what happened." I said, "You know what? Well, last time we talked about this, I'm like, Cassidy, I'm sorry for what I did in the situation too." And now we text each other probably every other day. So, and it makes me I'm getting goose pimples talking about, because I'm so proud of this guy, because I wasn't man enough to find him and say, I'm sorry for my part in what happened. So, and Dorian doesn't need to apologize. All Dorian needs to do is smile, say, "Hey, how are you doing, mate?" That's enough for me, and it's just, as you mature as a man or as a woman, my wife's mature. My wife, actually, Katie's always been fucking perfect. I kind of hate her for that. Like, she's always been the nice one, like everybody likes Katie. It's like, if you either love or hate me, like everybody loves Katie, how can you not like Katie? Like, she's fucking like June Cleaver up in this bitch, It's like, hey, you want some cookies? It's like, okay. So that, I mean, what do you, Matt? I mean, you're kind of on my level on forgiveness, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with you. I mean, the thing is, like, the older I get, the more I realize, like, it's just not worth spending the energy on most things anymore. The things that I used to get upset about is just like, man, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you decide. You and only you decide whether something gets under your skin or not.
Yep.
And the only reason why something gets under your skin is because you allowed it to get under your skin. And so once I realized that, I was just like, okay, well, maybe I should stop letting things get under my skin so much. And dude, it's such a there's so much less stress than there was before, and so forgiveness is more for you than it is for the other person. Just in that regard, because it takes the weight off of your shoulders. And you're not carrying around that hate and that negative energy. Because when you truly forgive somebody, you let it go. And everyone wants to talk about like, oh, forgive, but don't forget. No, when you forgive, you forget too.
Yeah.
You can be wary of that person and allow them to gain their trust back and still say no about certain things and whatnot. But when you forgive somebody, truly, you are supposed to let go what happened. And give them the you can either decide to give them a second chance or not, but don't hold it against them is what the whole is what it's really all about. And so it's more for you than it is the other person.
Absolutely. So where can they find you, Matt? I'm gonna put it in the description below, but where can they find you?
Mostly Twitter and Instagram. Hashed, or at least the tag is Matt_S_Stevens with a PH. And
right,
on there you can find my website and everything like that as well.
I'll link that below. He has a cool challenge going on right now where you'll make phenomenal progress, phenomenal gains. And he will be doing the universe this year, and he's winning. I'm calling it right now. He's winning that whole fucking show. Yep.
Let's do it.
We're gonna get a fake birth certificate, enter him in the 55+ class. He's gonna beat those old assholes. Just kidding. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it on this note. Been following you a while here on Twitter. First time I've caught a live. You guys keep it real. I enjoyed it. Good luck in Chicago. I heard Chris Cuomo is going for his pro carding. Coming for you. On that note, guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and of course, click on the notification bell. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Mark alongside
Matt Stevens.
All right, guys, take it easy.